So today, we're going to be looking at quite possibly the most interesting looking pair of earbuds out there, the Sony Linkbuds. These have actual holes built into the design, which allows for transparency mode to be on all the time. But the question is, are these any good? Let's check it out. Starting off with the case, the first thing you'll notice is how tiny it is, featuring a square clamshell design made from recycled plastic materials. Although I'm a big fan of saving the environment, you can't deny just how cheap the case feels. The lid, for example, is very flimsy and closes shut with the slightest movement. This is unfortunate considering their price point, but more on that later. Looking around the case, we have the Sony logo stamped on top, the LED indicator light and unlock button on the front, and the Bluetooth pairing button along with the USB-C port on the back. Switching over to the earbuds, right away you'll notice that they do not look like any of the traditional earbuds that we've seen before. They feature a tiny sphere with an open ring attached to them, which makes for a very interesting design. As you can see, there's an actual hole built into the earbuds, and this allows for a permanent transparency mode. The buds are super light, coming in at only 4.1 grams each, and they feature touch-sensitive controls on the Sony logo, two visible external mics, and proximity sensors on the inside. When it comes to fit and comfort, the Sony Linkbuds are very tiny, so you don't have to worry about them sticking out past your ears. With them being so light, they manage to stay locked in too. One thing that really helps with that are the silicone wingtips. You do get 5 different sizes to choose from, so I would strongly recommend choosing the right size because it really makes a big difference. I've worn these on my usual workouts and my runs, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how well they managed to stay in my ears. Mind you, despite them being so light, I was very aware that they were in my ears. It's almost as if I can feel them moving around ever so slightly whenever I was in movement. Keep in mind that the only thing here that does have any sort of grip are the silicone wingtips. Everything else is made of smooth plastic. It would have been cool if Sony sort of wrapped this ring in some sort of silicone just to add some grip and to make them more secure. Now, despite them being so secure, I didn't find them to be the most comfortable earbuds out there. After wearing them for about 30 minutes, they started to hurt my ears. Now keep in mind, just because these don't really work with my ears, that doesn't mean that they won't work for you. The Sony Linkbuds come with Bluetooth 5.2, and as expected, I didn't experience any loss in sound while I was testing them out. A water resistance rating of IPX4 is present here, which means they can withstand light splashes of water. And in my test of splashing the Linkbuds with water, they continued working without any issues. Touch controls are present here, and I'm pleased to report that they are very responsive. The controls themselves are customizable to a certain extent. You have the options to choose different features between 2 or 3 taps on both earbuds. But this is where things kind of take a turn. You can't fully customize the controls themselves. Instead, you have to choose between a list of preset options available. You have 7 options to choose from, and they're not the most intuitive. Depending on what you choose, you can actually double up on some controls. For example, right now, I have the left earbud as the select a song option and my right earbud as the playback control option, which doubles up on skipping to the next song. So I can double tap to skip a song with my right ear or triple tap on my left. If I were to choose any other option, then I lose the ability to go back a track or play and pause my music. And this is what I don't like. Don't restrict me on what I'm able to choose. Give me the freedom to choose the controls that I want, especially at this price point. But more on that later. Now, the main feature here are the holes in the earbuds, which allow for a transparency mode to be on all the time without needing the help of an external mic. And I have to say, this works really well. As you expect, noises flow into the earbuds through the holes to allow you to be aware of your surroundings. Now, since there aren't any external mics amplifying the sounds, everything sounds as natural as can be. Wearing these on runs, I was able to listen to music comfortably and be aware of traffic at around 40% volume. When it comes to phone calls, callers said that I sounded clear and they had no problem being able to pick up on my voice, although they did notice a lot of background noise. Calls come in through both earbuds, but only the right earbud picks up on your voice. And this leads me to the mic test. As always, I'll let you be the judge. So this is the mic test with the Sony Linkbuds. As usual, you guys know that I have my coffee shop sounds playing from my iPad at around 50% volume just to give you that real world feel. Curious to see how they sound, and I'm really curious to see if my callers are right about hearing the background noise in the background. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, before I turn that off, I want to test out the mics on each earbud, just to give you guys an example. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll remove the left earbud. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Let's put that back in. Got to make sure that it's still recording. Perfect. Let's remove the right one. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm curious to see how that sounds. And of course, let's go ahead and turn that off. And this is just to give you guys an example as to what the Sony Linkbuds sound like in a quiet environment. Let me know what you guys think. Back to the video. So when you first connect your Linkbuds, you're prompted to download the Sony Headphones app. From here, you can take full control of your earbuds. You have 4 screens to toggle from. First, you have the status screen, which displays the current song that's playing. The sound screen lets you toggle the speak to chat option, which pauses the music whenever you speak. It's an interesting feature, but it's not the best if you like to sing along to your music. You also have access to a customizable EQ along with 11 different sound profiles. Under System, you can turn Adaptive Volume Control on. This feature adjusts the volume according to the amount of noise that's around you. You can pick your touch controls. You can choose if you want wide area tap turned on. Now, this is actually a really cool feature. So rather than tap on the earbud itself, you can sort of tap on the area in front of your ears, your sideburn area, to control your music. I've seen a lot of people think this is a bit of a gimmick, but for me, it came in really handy. Now let me explain. I went out for a run on a chilly morning and I was wearing gloves. And as you would know, touch controls don't really work well with gloves. So with wide area tap, I was able to effectively control my music without actually having to take my gloves off. Now, I don't know if Sony thought about this ahead of time, but it's a win for me. Oh, and the other thing that's cool too, you don't necessarily have to tap in front of your ears. The controls work by actually flicking your ear as well. Continuing along, you also have the option to autoplay or pause your music. Finally, under Services, you toggle between Microsoft Scapes or have quick access to your Spotify. So how do the Sony Linkbuds sound? To be honest, the best way that I can put it is they sound flat all across the board. Mids and highs are the highlight here, but that's not really saying much. And bass is non-existent. Well, okay, that's a little harsh. Bass is slightly present, but it's nothing to write home about. Even after adjusting the sound profiles and maxing out the bass on the customizable EQ, the bass was a minor tap at best. Now, that is due to the open design. Overall, the sound here just isn't the best out there. I mean, it's okay if you're looking for something quick for like a workout, but if you're looking for something to help you engulf yourself in your music, you might as well look elsewhere. When it comes to battery life, Sony rates these at 5.5 hours of playback with an additional 12 hours of the case for a total of 17.5 hours. In my tests of playing music at 50% volume, I was able to get 5 hours and 5 minutes of playback. Quick charge is available here with 10 minutes giving you an additional 90 minutes, and unfortunately, wireless charging is not included. Finally, let's look at the price. I know I mentioned it a couple times before, but just how much do these earbuds cost? Well, I paid the full retail price of $249 Canadian for these, or $179 US. And that's actually quite expensive for what they offer here. The Sony Linkbuds are definitely a really interesting pair of truly wireless earbuds. I applaud Sony for thinking outside the box and trying something different with their design here. For the most part, the Linkbuds do the job that they were intended to do, which is allow you to be aware of your surroundings while listening to music. It's just unfortunate that everything else brings the Linkbuds down. At $250, you expect things like wireless charging, or better battery life, or much better sound, just to name a few. Fortunately, there are cheaper options available. Now let's be real here for a second. The Sony Linkbuds aren't for everyone. These are intended for those who are looking to be out and about, listen to your music and be aware of your surroundings. But even still, it's hard to justify buying the Linkbuds. You actually might be better off investing in a different pair which feature transparency mode, or just rocking one earbud independently. Look, don't get me wrong, I really like the direction that Sony is going with the Linkbuds, and it makes me really excited to see what improvements they'll implement on the next version, if there is a next version. But for now, the Linkbuds just lack way too much to justify spending your hard-earned cash. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and slap that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comment box down below. If you want to keep seeing more videos like this one, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. That's it for me, guys. As always, I'll catch you on the next video.